When I started doing videos, I had some big ideas.
What you doing?
Moving all my ideas from whiteboard to notebook.
Yeah.
You can't read any of it, can you?
No.
Well, that one says reviews. That one says pizza challenge. That one says flamingo dancing.
Flamingo dancing?
Yes, practicing it right now. And that one says stupid cutaway gag and stupid jokes. Another one down. A lot of my ideas were to do shows. One of them was to be a series about game series. It was going to be called Chronicles. I was going to review and tell stories of games. As long as I had 2 in the series, it would be on there. I kind of already picked the game and wrote the script, but I just didn't feel happy with it. Now, I don't know if I'll actually make this into a show like the classic reviews, but I do want to talk about the game series. This is the Chronicles of Blinks. Forgot I didn't have an intro for this. Oh well. So the story of Blinks actually starts a long time ago, a time when NSYNC went on a temporary hiatus, and we just got the first Spider-Man movie in the Tobey Maguire trilogy. That's right, I'm talking about 2002. The Sega Dreamcast was discontinued the year before, leaving us with the 3 major contenders in the console wars. Nintendo with the GameCube, Sony with the PS2, and Microsoft with the Xbox. During E3 of 2002, Microsoft unveiled Blinx the Time Sweeper, developed by Rtoon and published by Microsoft Game Studios. In an interview with IGN, the head producer of Microsoft Game Studios, Katsunori Yamaji, revealed the character of Blinx was to be a child-friendly mascot that would rival Nintendo's Mario and Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's safe to say Blinx didn't take off in popularity, and instead Master Chief became Xbox's unofficial mascot. Blinx did however get a sequel known as Blinx 2 Masters of Time and Space. But enough with the backstory, let's actually get to the game. Welcome to the Time Factory, located outside time itself somehow. The Time Factory's main purpose is to maintain the flow of time throughout different dimensions and the entire universe. Occasionally, glitches are found, and left unchecked, these temporal glitches can create time monsters, distorting the dimensions. This is where the Time Factory and their own Time Sweepers step in to get rid of the monsters and fix the dimension. Okay, so understand, the fate of I don't know how many dimensions, I'm just gonna make an estimated guess. And the entire universe lies on this time factory that is run by cats. Okay, well, good news, despite the common idea of cats just being lazy, useless, and plain old evil, they do their job surprisingly well. The story of Blinx begins on what seems to be a normal day, when suddenly, the evil pig gang known as the Tom-Toms attack dimension B1Q64 to steal time. The amount they steal leads to the dimension becoming highly unstable, creating a massive time glitch. This results in the Time Factory closing off the dimension and recalling all of their Time Sweepers. However, when Time Sweeper Blinx hears a young princess is trapped in the dimension and is kidnapped by the Tom-Toms, he enters the dimension before it's closed off. This is all the classic story of hero saves princess along with the entire world. And like Mario 64, that's all the game gives us until the very end. The rest is purely gameplay, and while it is good, there are some flaws. Blinx plays as your standard 3D platformer. Every level has the same objective. You gotta kill all the enemies in a level, then reach the end goal. This must be done within a 10-minute time limit. Killing enemies is done by having Blinx, use his vacuum cleaner to suck up trash as ammo and fire it at enemies. The only real complaint I have about this is enemies tend to get repetitive, but you are inclined to pay attention to the levels, making sure you kill them all. The levels not only look good, but they can actually be kind of fun and can get quite challenging. When defeated, enemies drop items known as time crystals. You can also find time crystals lying around in the environment. Collecting 3 of the same type of crystal allows Blinx to use the game's main gimmick, time controls. As the name suggests, these allow you to control time, from rewinding it, to slowing it down, to pausing time, to fast forwarding, and even recording the actions of Blinx and playing them back. These will mostly be used to solve puzzles, get over the obstacles, and help defeat some of the bosses. When faced with a puzzle, the game will usually provide enough time crystals to get the necessary time control. Now, I notice a slight challenge, if you want to call it that. Time crystals in the environment do not respawn, neither do the enemies. This means you better use your time controls carefully, since it is completely possible to waste them and get stuck in the level, meaning you have to restart the level. Once again, this is a challenge or an issue, depends on how you see it. I see it as a challenge. The real issue I had was that time controls travel with you throughout the levels. Now, this is usually a good thing, but there are times when the game expects you to have a certain time control when you enter the level. The best example I have for this is the last level. We enter the level and holy look at this, I mean seriously, let's just take a moment and break this down. We have lava pits with bombs rolling along the pits and enemies floating right above the pits that you still need to kill. Seriously, if you can do this without pause or slow, you should get like a medal or something. These situations just lead to uncalled for backtracking to get a single time control, and it itself is a waste of time. There's a total of 8 different theme stages to go through, each with 3 levels and a shop before a boss battle. Boss battles are going to be the most difficult levels out of the entire game. These fights will frustrate you, and they will make you hate the game, but they give you that, hold up, I got this feeling. Timing is everything. If you see the boss move for an attack, you better move, cause Blinks moves so slow. For the first couple of levels, it's unnoticeable, but eventually you'll have times where you barely make it to the end goal before time limit expires. During boss fights, if you move 1 second too late, you will get hit. Speaking of getting hit, whenever you get hit, Blinks will fall to the ground and time will rewind a couple seconds back, usually before the enemy's attack. The enemy still will do the same attack, but the game gives you another chance to dodge it. It's a neat concept and it shows that you're able to dodge every attack. It's the player's fault for getting hit. The only gripe I have with this is that it happens every single time. It can get annoying since it just stops the flow of the game. Luckily this is only a minor annoyance. The only other real issue I had was with the snow level. Let's just say you're gonna hate ice skating after that. I kinda already do. Anyways, Blinks ventures throughout the dimension, defeating powerful time monsters until he reaches the center of the time glitch. After a climactic battle with the most powerful, or as I call it, cheap as hell time monster, Blinks is able to restore time, save the dimension, and save the princess. From here, the game diverts into what appears to be 2 separate endings. The first ending is Blinks jumping into a time portal as the princess awakes, returning to the time factory and being hailed as a hero. After the credits, the entire sequence rewinds, leaving with a second ending. This one where the princess wakes up and hugs Blinks before he's able to jump into the portal. These are the only 2 endings that are shown since the screen fades to black, but it is possible that the true ending could be a mix of the 2, or I just dug really deep into the ending. The story is a little bit of a mix between Mario and Sonic 06, but with less bestiality and necrophilia, and I like it. While this can easily be summarized for this game, the sequel, not so much. Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space, not only follows the Time Sweeper cats, but also focuses on the Tom Tom pigs. And, okay. I really don't want to go through the entire story because it's dumb. How dumb, you might ask? Well, just listen to this short summary I wrote. Tom Tom pigs destroy important crystal that's important because without it, people don't know value of time. Causes chaos. Good guy cats race to save world and rebuild crystal. Pigs race to rebuild crystal because leader is getting dream from a time goddess's daughter. Both reach far in the world, work together, beat up pissed off time goddess. World saved, yay! I could go into a little bit more detail, but it's still stupid. I don't know why the developers went for a more complex story. I was fine with another Save the Princess story. I mean, we're all fine with Mario and Link doing it a bunch of times. Well, according to Metacritic, Blinks 2 didn't really do as good as the first, and this was one of the reasons why. Another reason was in the change of characters. Blinks the Time Sweeper is the only game to star the titular character of Blinks and his journey. Blinks does appear in Masters of Time and Space, but not as the main character. The role has been moved to 2 teams and their leaders. The game allows you to customize the leaders, and it has a surprisingly large amount of customization options. You can choose the color for several pieces of their outfits, along with body proportion from tail size to calf size to body length. The same goes for the pigs. Now, I actually didn't mind this since it felt like you created your own playable kitty and breakfast. Though I do understand critics' comments, since Blinks is on the box, he's on the manual, and he's on the CD. Also, the rest of the team isn't customizable, but they're only playable for a few sections of the game. Gameplay has actually changed quite a bit. The objectives no longer focus on killing all the enemies, instead they vary. You could have a level where you have to open a locked door, to collecting certain items, to even sneaking past enemies. Whatever the objective is, there is usually 2 different ways to complete it. The 2 different teams of the Time Sweepers and the Tom Toms also have 2 different gameplay styles. The Time Sweepers still play very much how Blinks did in the original, while the Tom Toms on the other hand, have a more tactical style of gameplay. The Tom Toms utilize gadgets to help distract and sneak past enemies. They also use guns for offensive maneuvers, but they have a limited amount of ammo and can't reload as easily. Both of the teams travel to the same 5 worlds, but the teams will have different objectives, areas to explore, and different bosses. While this is all good and welcoming, there is one obvious issue. Apparently, the game developers heard complaints about the game and actually did something about it. It's almost impossible to get stuck in the levels, characters move faster, they're easier to control, the rewind when hit mechanic has been changed so it's not as common. All good until they heard some people thought the game was too challenging. At this point, someone must have just been tired of the complaints and was like, oh, too difficult? Well, you're dumb as because every puzzle, every objective is explained to you. Hey, you want to open that door? Locate the key. It's here, by the way. Hey, you want to do anything ever? Let me tell you how. This isn't just the tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. This is through every goddamn level. Even the bosses all the way to the final boss. Hey, you see that boss? Its giant eyes, its weakness. No I could guess that for myself. Seriously, the only bosses it doesn't tell me is in team versus team battles. Yeah, you remember that team you lead? The one you chose at the very beginning of the game? Yeah, other than the final boss, this is the only time they become useful. And when I say useful, I mean they do absolutely nothing. In these battles, it's last team standing wins in a team versus team match. In most cases, I found it to be a me versus 4 match. Teammates will most likely get knocked out before they even get one opponent. The game would have been awesome without more like just good, but still it would have been better if they didn't give us the answer. I mean, even without the answer, this game has more diverse challenges than the first, but they're easier. There's a rarity of difficult puzzles. The only time they are difficult are due to mechanics not working. In this level, I'm supposed to use non-lethal fireworks to distract the cats, since cats love fire and loud noises, then grab the necessary item. Yet no matter what I do, they do not get distracted and leave their pose. My solution? Grab a bazooka, run like hell, and kill their ass. Yep, good, awesome. I know. The Blinx series was an interesting series to look at. I mean, they're both similar yet different. Both had music that worked well with their levels, but compared to other platformers, it was just forgettable. One had a classic story, the other one had something more complex than a Rubik's Cube. One had the main character, the other one customizable characters. One held your hand, while one gave you challenge. One was slow with slight control issues, the other one had better controls but worse mechanics. For me, I enjoyed the first one more since the challenge and frustration basically gave me more for my money. I feel if the developers went in the direction and challenge of the first, they could have made something that rivaled the mascots we have today, like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Hell, even Mario and Sonic. Small chance though. The Blinx series sort of died off with no clear direction of where it was going, and to be honest, I think that was for the best. Well everybody, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and share it with your friends. If you want to get updated when our next video comes out, you can follow our group Twitter, follow my Twitter, or like us on Facebook. Or, you can hit that subscribe button right over here or down there, Just YouTube notification. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos, like our classic review of Always Sometimes Monster, or our latest video, which was a countdown of the top 10 best GameCube games. So, yeah, that's it. Good night, and game on. Oh, and if I have to have a score for Blinx, 7 for the first one, 5 for the second.